So hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to episode 2. For those of you that have listened so far, we hope you've enjoyed. So I know we said after the roundup that we would be focusing on the championship, but there's really only one thing to talk about, isn't there, Sam?
That's right, Dan. It's North London Derby week and it's a big week for all of us.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I think we are definitely due a good one. The last few derbies haven't been as exciting. I know that's easy for me to say considering the results, but I'm not being biased. I think they've just lost their atmosphere. The fans being absent has obviously had a big impact. Even the games itself are just far less enjoyable. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree to an extent. I mean, I think all football fans will agree with you on that. But in the basis of it being a North London derby, whether we are there or not, we all know how big it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll all be having a couple of beers, that's for sure. So we've got some guests coming on shortly. We've had some followers messaging with their predictions as well. One said he's predicting lots of goals both ends. Says it could be anyone's game as both defences are weak, but Tottenham should just nudge it 3-2 as they have the better front three. Interesting. Another said 9-0 to Arsenal. I can probably bet my left leg on that not happening, but I admire the confidence, I really do. Most predictions are going the way of 2-1 Tottenham. I think the thing is with Tottenham is that they can play any of their front three and it still be dangerous. The depth in their squad in comparison to ours is a big worry. Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they've got so many options. Let's be honest. We touched on it the other day I think it was a roundup where we said that any of their wingers or potential front three coming in or out is better than most teams' firsts.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the scary thing about it all is that it's not just the Harry Kane, the Song, but now they've got a Gareth Bale ticking as well.
I agree. I mean, the problem is you can replace Bale, Moura, Bergwijn, Son, and it's still a threat. You could have 3 injuries in that front three and we're still worried. So I think that is a good time to bring in the first of our guests. The first of our guests is Luke Story. For those of you that don't know him, he's a Tottenham fan, born from Stevenage like myself. First of all, Luke, how you doing, mate? You okay?
Yeah, very good, Dennis. How are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. It's a bit of a miserable Wednesday, of course, but I think the tension in this game can never be ignored. So I suppose let's get cracking. Tottenham will be looking to prove a point as Arsenal will due to the inconsistent seasons of them both. What are your predictions, mate?
Well, the way Spurs are playing at the minute, we're so inconsistent with our defence but the attack's really flowing at the minute. If you can defend well, I think we might scrape a win or you might get a draw. I don't think you'll win personally. That's just my opinion. But
right. Fair enough.
But I think 2-0. I think 2-1, 2-0.
Oh, okay, interesting. So I was mentioning earlier to Sam, of course, about the depth in your squad, how it's far better than ours. It'll be no shock to see you having better options on the sideline, that's for sure. We've spoken previously on podcasts, I'm not sure if you've listened, on whether Klopp can keep his players at Liverpool. Do you think Mourinho can do the same if you miss out on Champions League or even Europa? Is there still that chance too?
I actually don't think he will. Not a lot of people like his attitude towards our players. I don't know if everyone like his system he keeps playing or the way he is with other players. It's just a little bit far-fetched. I don't know if that suits us, that sort of play. So many Spurs fans I've spoken to are so like 50-50 at the minute. We've got a good few results, but we had a bad run. It's so inconsistent. It's so hard to really, do you know what I mean, understand it.
Yeah, right. Go on, Dan, you go.
So, what I was going to say, so you think some players are going to go then? Some players are going to ship sail, should we say?
Possibly, yeah. I think Dele Alli might still go.
Yeah.
I just don't think he suits Jose as a player and as a manager relationship. I just can't see that working long term.
Go on, Sam, you were going to say, mate?
No, I was just saying, touching base on Mourinho as well, Luke. When you first got him to where you are now, has your opinion changed on him?
Oh, absolutely. Like, obviously, at the start of the season, we was getting not a lot of good results, but we was getting a steady amount of form. But now it's all over the place. Like, all our teams are always changing. It's so inconsistent. Like, it's just I can't see it working long term. If he does well in the final against City or we go far in Europa League, it might change people's minds. But I don't know. I just think he should have spent more with Pochettino. Our ship's sailed now, obviously. So
Yeah, I think with Poch on it, he was like your club sweetheart. You know, for what he done for your club and everything like that, for him to go in such a manner that he did, I think it's a bit distasteful, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And he's so different, Jose. Do you know what I mean? He's like Marmite, isn't he?
Yeah, you know what you get, don't you?
That's a good way to put it. Speaking of, so you finally got the chance to silverware. I mean, besides the game against United the other day, they've pretty much been unstoppable. Do you think you've got enough to take it off them? I mean, it's been quite a while since you won anything, hasn't it?
Oh, I know. I'm
not smiling, I promise.
But of course, I don't. It's obviously it's a one-off game. Like, do you remember last season? Obviously you beat Chelsea in the final.
Yeah.
They were so hot favourites to win that final. Then you went and done that performance against them. I think similar situation could happen for us. I think if we do, it's a one-off game. We could beat them on the day, but at the minute, I'm quite concerned for it. I don't think we'll do it, but I'm just being honest about it.
Yeah, I mean, all your players seem in form as well. My colleague, shall I say, Sam mentioned mentioned Gareth Bale. Surely you'd like to see him stick around and kept on permanently. He's finally found his form after some enjoyable time on the sidelines and the golf course.
Yeah. Well, obviously, he's starting to kick on a little bit now. He's getting his fitness back, a bit of confidence. I'm liking the Bale I'm seeing in a minute, but he's obviously always going to be a bit of part player now. He hasn't got the 90 minutes in him. But the quality is always there, so it's good experience for the team. It's sort of carrying us a little bit through games. It's like he's always there, positive. So it's nice to see.
That's what's got me personally worried about it all, is that with the North London derby, we've never had to contend with a Bale possibly in the picture.
Exactly.
It's fucking written, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm predicting a goal from him or Kane, definitely. Usually I'm worried about Son, but I think he's third on my list at the moment. But you're not short of right wingers, which that's kind of what fascinates me about Bale.
Yeah.
You've brought him in. You've spent quite a lot of money on the attack and midfield.
Yeah.
And he's obviously got to impress because Mourinho's got enough options. He's got Lamela, Moura, Bergwijn, obviously, and they can all play left or right. In the middle, you've got Kane and Vinicius, who looks like a good player. He's tall, he's quick. So, to me, I think it's good that he's finally come out of his shell because he's needed it. Obviously, at the moment, it's the worst time for him to be coming on form because it just seems to always happen when Arsenal are playing Tottenham.
I know, it does.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
We've seen like some mistakes in the last few games from our defence where we've given you quite the opportunities to score easy-handed.
Yeah.
Obviously, we saw Kane score a blinder at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
He scored one of two, in fact. He seems to have a record of just scoring against us, whether it be a penalty or anything, open play. You said earlier you can't see players sticking around. Well, some like Ali. Do you think his time's running out?
I do think Ali's time's running out. I think he doesn't suit our play anymore. If you watch what Jose puts Lucas Moura in now, he puts him in a different position now. He's such a hard-working player. Against Palace, he done really well against Palace, and I can see him playing against Arsenal, making a difference for us.
Yeah, I agree. And what about Harry Kane? Do you think he'll stick around with no silverware? I mean, he's getting quite old, isn't he?
Yeah, basically, I think if we don't win nothing this season, he's probably going to think, do I go now or do I say one more season? Either way, I think he should be looking to go. I think if I was Harry Kane, I'll be looking at my long-term plans, especially the age I'm at. I mean, you've got to think, well, I'm going to either stay now or I'm going to commit or leave. You know what I mean?
Well, how will you guys look at that when that happens, though, eventually? I mean, obviously, he's been such a servant now. Maybe in the modern game, it's slightly different, but like I can only put that back to like with us and an RVP for someone who stuck around as long as he did. Obviously, not even on the level of Harry Kane is for you. But would that leave a bad taste in all Spurs' mouth, or will they all just love him anyway?
I think personally we'd all love him still because he's give that extra. Obviously, this season he could have gone last season. I don't know, but I think we'd all love him for all the goals he scored for us and how his attitude on the pitch is always positive. He never moans. Do you know what I mean? He never has a bad press conference. He's always, we done this, we done that. Do you know what I mean? It's always, we was very unlucky today. Do you know what I mean? He's always involved.
That's the way he speaks about you lot as well. You can tell that he's a Tottenham boy as well. He absolutely loves the club.
He's definitely loyal. I mean, I've seen him in an Arsenal shirt one day, I think, but He's definitely been loyal since he arrived at your team.
Yeah.
I hope he keeps it on for the summer. And to be honest, I can't see him anywhere else. That's the problem.
Nah.
I think with Son and Bale and people like that around him, it fits. It works well. I don't think he'd be the same player in another shirt. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And especially at his age, I just don't think he's got many more peaks in him. Like, there's only so many more seasons he can score 20 goals or get so many assists. Like, the partnership with Son has been obviously one of the best we've seen in the Premier League. I mean, I'm not saying it's Cole and York or Henry and Bergkamp. I'm mainly just thinking it's something special there which they'll like to hold on to, because I don't think if he had someone else on the left, if he went to Real Madrid and had Hazard there, I can't see him getting half the goals that he gets now.
No, I agree with that.
Okay, and is there anyone in Tottenham's shirt? Obviously, we had quite the debate between Redknapp and Keane last week. I'm guessing you saw it.
Yeah, that was good. It's good.
What did you make of that?
I think Roy Keane's a bit harsh. I think he's obviously saying a lot of bad things about us. But I think that's just opinions. I don't think he likes Spurs. I just think he's got a sour taste for us. He's really over the top the way he was talking about us. Obviously, we're not the best in the league, but we have got good players throughout the team. And Jamie Redknapp was right sticking up for us how he did, I think.
I think it's also, though, it's positive that you're actually hearing more of these like bigger pundits now talking about your club, because it means that they're fearing you.
Yeah, it means you're annoying people. That's what you want.
That's a good impression, obviously. But I think we're on the right track. But obviously, going back to Arsenal, I think if my history's right, I think we're both unbeaten since the 21st. I think we're both going into this game a bit, do you know what I mean, hit and miss. I think it could be really close, I think.
Yeah, we're definitely both inconsistent this season. I think that's why there's a lot of hype around it, because we've both got a point to prove.
Yeah.
I mean, like in the last game, we were just exposed constantly against you boys. I think it was 2-0.
Yeah.
And the first goal was just, I mean, it was one of the greatest goals I've seen in years in derbies.
Yeah.
I think we watched it together, Sam, didn't we, in the Royal Oak, actually? The good times, mate, when we could watch it.
Yeah, what's the pub?
It wasn't a good time for us at all, but it was nice to just be able to sit in a pub and watch a game, and have a pint. But I remember Son just took it round holding, like he wasn't even there, and curled it top corner. And I'm just thinking, this is against Bernard Leno as well. One of not a terrible not the best keeper in the league, but he's got the potential to be, definitely. But there's a lot of competition there as well, obviously, because you've got Edison, Alisson, Lloris. They're all goalkeepers at the highest level and being spent a lot of money on as well. I think the problem is there where we just get exposed on the counter attack. The same happened with Kane. 5 of your players were out against 3 of ours out of nowhere. We just got caught up top. We've obviously got an improved midfield with Partey, and I'm pretty sure our defence should be better than it was last time. I don't know who Arteta's going to go with, to be honest. If there was anyone out of Arsenal's team, who would you take? I think I know the answer to this, but I would just like to...
Oh, that's a tough one, I think. You got to have Aubameyang in your team. I know he's not obviously as in form as he was, but he's still deadly in front of goal. Do you know what I mean? I like Kieran Tierney. I think he's solid. He's the most impressive player for me. I think he's just got that hunger. You're missing a lot since like the old days.
Luke, he's better than Shaw though, isn't he?
Oh, without doubt.
Thank you, mate.
Luke Shaw is not. He's had a couple of good games. You know what I mean? He's injury prone.
Yeah, I mean, and in terms of your players, is there anyone that you would agree Keane was right about? Is there anyone that's not delivering for your team? I mean, they're probably not going to watch this, so you can tell us. But
there's got our defence is so shaky in a minute. I think forward and midfield's pretty solid. Obviously Ali drifting in and out, but our centre back pairing. So obviously it's Alderweireld, Dyer, Sanchez, Dyer. It's Roden. It's not consistent. It's so all over the place. It's like I know Davinson Sanchez is starting to play now last few games, and him and Toby Alderweireld.
Yeah.
So I think our centre backs is the biggest issue. Regulin, Davis. I'm not the biggest fan of Davis. He does a good job, but it's not the player I want to see. Regulin, he's really good. He's so passionate. He's what you want as a left back. But yeah, it's probably defence is bits for me.
what makes me laugh, you've actually spent an incredible amount of money on your defence as well. I mean, you bought Doherty, and I know this is one player that was brought up a few weeks back in the debate. And you've got Aurier, who, can I say, is probably a right back that would probably get in most sides when he's having a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, when you first signed him, most players and most fans for most teams were probably envious because he is he's got that quality about him.
Yeah.
So you've got two right backs there that on their day can be a first team player in any side, really, in the Premier League anyway, for a lot of money. And you've also got two left backs that supposedly are worth a lot of money. And the centre backs alone, you've got, like you said about Alderweireld, and you've got Sanchez. If you add all that value together, realistically, I'm not talking on form, I'm talking what's been spent on them or what could be bought for if they were to go to a lower league or a worse league. It's quite a lot of money spent on that side, and you're still not reaching that position where you probably should be, or even winning trophies. So is there something going wrong up top on the board, or do you think they're doing things right, but the players just aren't doing enough?
But yeah, probably, I think a bit of both, really. Obviously, we spent a lot of money on Sanchez. I think it was 40 million. And then you've got Eric Dier this season, and I think Sanchez had a bad game against West Ham. That would cost us 3 points, if you remember rightly. And that game, he dropped him and kept playing Dier. I just think we need to cut down on centre backs, maybe get rid of a couple, and just give that 2 or 3 centre backs a bit of a confidence boost. I think will help out massively. To maybe get rid of some good and start again, basically.
Good idea. I'm glad you mentioned Eric Dier, because that's one player we haven't really spoke on yet. You mentioned Marmite for Mourinho. I think Eric Dier is a bit like Marmite as well. I think you can either love or hate him. I'm only saying this from an England point of view because, to be honest, for Tottenham, he doesn't stand out as much for me. Especially since your introductions of Højbjerg. I think he's phenomenal. And then Dier is just one that he's on a slippery slope all the time. I think he's having a good game, and he can play in the two positions. Do you think he's going to go to the Euros?
I don't want him to. No, I think he's too hit and miss. He's not a good player in my eyes. I really hate him. A lot of Spurs fans will agree with me. So, yeah, I'll finish that on Eric Dier and that. He's just woeful.
I appreciate the honesty. This is what we want on the show. We want people to fire at anyone, whether it's good or bad. Okay, so Dier is definitely a player you'd want gone then, you think?
Absolutely. I'll take 10 million for him. Do you know what I mean? Get rid of him, sack him off.
It's weird though, isn't it? Because Mourinho seems to like him a lot.
I know, this is the strange thing. He must see something good in him, like in training. He must have good leadership skills or something. I know he shouts a lot, other players, which I've seen on the pitch myself, obviously, since no fans and being there. He must like his hunger, but a lot of stuff lets him down. So I just think Mourinho's got to be a bit more like a boss, just see bigger pictures. You know what I mean? Like, he needs to be more confident in other centre backs.
I think when you play him, like with Dier, it's obvious that the mistakes always come in when he's played at the back. I think his best position is obviously centre defensive mid. But obviously with your likes of your Højbjerg, who Den just touched on, is absolutely wicked. I think he's fantastic. And then your likes of is it Endon Bele? Because Sissoko's not even getting in that team at the moment.
No, it's that on Dembele. He's done. To me, he goes round players so easy, and he makes it look so fluent. Do you know what I mean? I'd say for me, he's been my favourite player of the season so far. I know you've got the Kanes and the Sons, but you sort of expect that. It's not as much as a shock, but he's come on such a bundle, would I say? Because last season he couldn't get any lower. Now he's one of our most important players.
It's finally paying off.
Yeah. So can be done. Do you know what I mean?
We go back to the depth in your squad. It's quite remarkable to think the sort of players that are on your bench. Yeah. I mean, you've got Harry Winks in there, who I sometimes forget you even have as a player.
Same here. Literally, I'm not joking. Forget about him since Højbjerg's come in.
He's just got no chance. Do you think he needs a loan spell, or he just needs to sort of be shifted?
Personally, I'll take the money for him. Whatever I can get. He's another one I'll like to see go. He don't do enough for us. He makes mistakes. It's just.
I think the problem with him as well, he's a bit of a Wilshere character.
Yeah.
He can sort of just run at players, and I don't think he's got the strength to do it sometimes where he believes he has. This is just what I've seen from him anyway. We saw him get a couple of caps for England in the friendlies, and to be honest, even with that, he's got no chance because he's up against big characters, Rice, even Dyer. So I think again, I just think it's going to be someone that, as much as he may have shown good charisma and potential, there's no room for him because you've improved massively. Is there anything you would like to mention, Luke, before we wrap up? Obviously, you've given us predictions.
Yeah, I'll go back on my prediction again. I think it's going to be very much relying on the counter-attack for both teams, I'd say. But I'll stick with 2-1 Tottenham, I think. And then I'd like to give a special mention to you and Sam so far. I think the channel's really good, positive, and I'd like to see keep growing and stuff. So let's keep at it. Do you know what I mean? Let's keep discussing. It's great.
Nice one, mate. Really appreciate you for coming on as well.
You're welcome back on any time, just for that comment alone.
I'll definitely come back on without a doubt if you love me. So.
Let's see how Sunday goes, mate. Appreciate that.
Brilliant.
Take it easy, Luke.
Take it easy. Take care, guys.
Cheers,
see you later, mate.
Bye. So our next guest is Danny Stern. Danny's become a regular guest on our show already. Danny, first of all, how you doing, mate? You okay?
Not too bad, boys. All good. Enjoying the time off as much as I can enjoy the time off. But all good. How are you, boys? All good?
Yeah, it's lucky for some. I'm all right, mate. I'm all right.
Yeah, not bad. Thank you, mate.
Good.
So, obviously, Danny, I've known you quite a long time, especially in regards to football. I know just how much you'll be looking forward to this. You excited?
Always excited for the North London derby. A little bit nervous, not going to lie to you, but who wouldn't be? It's the game, it's the fixture. Look, we all look out for at the start of the season when the fixtures are announced. And form goes out the window. No matter where you are in the league, I mean, form goes out the window. So, yeah.
Luckily for us, though, that brings us a bit of hope, doesn't it?
Yeah. I have to agree with Sam on that one. I think the only thing is, no matter what form either team be in, I think it just comes down to the day. I think Tottenham have been in fine form, coincidentally, leading up to the game against us. That's no surprise for me. It happens all the time. But what are your predictions, mate, first of all?
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, Den. I mean, every time Tottenham seem to, if Arsenal's coming up, they seem to gain some form, and the strikers are scoring left, right, and centre. I mean, we all saw Harry Kane's goal at White Hart Lane. I mean, what a goal! Yeah.
I mean, against Palace, stunner. 1 of 2 goals, in fact, as well. Like I watched that game and I thought, great, we've got them next. Like looking at it, it was just too obvious. It was predictable that a performance like that was going to happen just round the corner. But as you said, form goes out the window.
Yeah, it's a one-off game, isn't it? It really is. It's a form goes out the window. But if I was to put a prediction on it, I'm going to say 2-1 Arsenal. If I can go into a little bit more, I would say we're going to get the lead. We'll go 1-0 up. I think Tottenham will equalise and we'll just scrape through with a 2-1 victory. We hope.
Yeah, we'd fucking all hope, mate. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if you're right, that is brilliant. That would make my day. So obviously, speaking of Harry Kane that we just mentioned, he seems to always score against us. I don't know why. I don't know how, but it seems like we just can't wrap our heads around how to keep control of him. A lot of the goals have been penalties, but do you think we've finally found out his way of play? Do you think we can sort of keep him in control this time, or can you see the inevitable happening again?
I think there's a difference between finding how he plays and actually controlling how he plays. Everyone knows what Harry Kane's capable of doing. It's stopping what he can do. I think, do we man mark him? I don't know. I think with these players, especially Harry Kane, I think they're just fired up for the game all the time. They know what it means. He knows what it means to the fans and stuff. Again, it's a game. I think it's the second game we've played Tottenham without no fans.
Yeah.
Will that play a factor again? I don't know.
It always seems as well, right? And I don't think maybe it's not the right thing to say, but it always seems that they're always fired up from the fucking beginning. It always seems like with Arsenal, we're always the nervy starting team. they come at us, boom, and then so if we could actually show a bit of class for once and actually go at them, it would be nice to see Tottenham put under pressure for once.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you, Sam. How many times have you seen Arsenal? We don't really turn up in the first half, do we?
Exactly.
It's always the second half we turn up. I think we need to get at them from the first minute and actually show that we do mean business, and we're coming for you.
And do something with our chances as well, because I think we saw Arsenal in their last game against Burnley. In the first 20 minutes, they looked brilliant. I thought it was going to be a really good performance. And then we weren't taking our chances as much as we were getting them. We started off with a good goal, and then we should have probably been 3-4-0 up in the first half an hour. But unfortunately, it weren't to be. But I think, like you say, if we can just get at them in the first 20 minutes, get a goal or so, put the pressure on them, then it's all ours to play for, really, and no mistakes at the back, because we seem to have this way of making it harder for ourselves in terms of mistakes. I mean, we saw one with Xhaka. We saw one 2 games ago against Tottenham themselves. Lacazette scored a blinder, and then I'm pretty sure it was David Luiz who gave the ball away to Son, and he scored, and from then on it was Tottenham's game. So I think it's just all about keeping control and not making it hard on ourselves or making any slip-ups, because a lot of the goals we concede, there always seems to be an error or a mistake made.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes,
I agree with everything you said, Ed, and I agree. And this is where we need 110% from every player. There's no point having 3 or 4 giving it, and then there's 5 or 6. We need 110% from every player. If I had to name a starting team, I never know with Arteta on who's going to be on that starting team. It'll be Leno and goal, of course.
I think the keeper and the centre midfields are probably the only ones I'd be certain on.
I think, again, Xhaka, you talk about Xhaka with his mistake against Burnley. We've seen him come back from horrible situations, Xhaka.
Yeah.
And I think, especially in the North London derby, he is so vital in the middle. He's a player that will give you 110%. Okay, we all make mistakes. It's a horrible mistake, against Burnley. But this is where, again, I said to you during the week, clear your lines. All this playing around the back, sometimes it ain't no good. Again,
that's the problem.
We're class at doing it. When we do it, we're really good. But it's always that danger of
the difference is though, Dan. The difference is with that though is that it's all well and good doing that against the Burnley, but if we start doing that against a Spurs, that front three,
Son's always pressing, Kane's always there. These players will they'll kill you off.
They don't give up, do they?
They'll kill you off, and they'll make chances out of nowhere, and then before you know it's in the back of the net. So this is where we've got to just be sensible about things, I think.
Obviously they've got a tough week of games coming up. We've got the 2 Europa games as well.
Massive game. We need our revenge against them.
So it's a really big week, and I mean, you won't see any players resting because there's enough time there for players to rest and recover. I mean, in terms of the front 3, what would you expect Arteta to put out there? What do you think is the best 3 to get at the Tottenham side? Because we spoke previously on their fullbacks. They've got some good fullbacks there. Obviously, they'll be exposed at times. Do you think Pepe and Uber are the right choices, or would you put Uber in the middle?
It's a hard one, isn't it? I don't like seeing Lacazette on the bench.
Yeah, same.
That might just be me. I don't know, but I'd play Lacazette from the start. I'd play Uber from the start. But where'd they all fit in?
That's the thing with when you've got such depth. I mean, we've barely got any depth in our team, but up front we seem to have 2 really good ones, which is the problem. And we never played a 4-4-2. So someone's going to lose out. Obviously, Odegaard's there now, so you can't see Laka in the cam or centre forward position. It's just unluck. It's bad luck. If he goes at the end of the season, then fair play to him, because by the looks of it, he's not getting used as much as he should here. But touching back on Tottenham, how many of their players do you think would get in our first 11? And I want honest truth.
You should even do it though. You could even look at it realistically. You should do player for player in their positions, and I can single-handedly say off the top of my head, there's at least 7 of their players that would get into ours.
7, right.
I would.
Again, how many players would I want in the Arsenal team?
Yeah, how long you got?
I always think, Son's. I'm more, I would say, scared. I'd be more scared of Son than Harry Kane. That's my personal opinion. He's more dangerous
all the time.
I'd quite happily have Son in my team. I wouldn't want him, but I'd have him.
I've said this about many teams, though, that the wingers are the ones to look out for. You look at City, I'm not scared of Aguero, I'm scared of Sterling. You look at Liverpool, I'm not scared of Firmino, I'm scared of Mane. The wingers just seem to always come in, and Son is just... I mean, we spoke a minute briefly about the goal he scored in the last game. I mentioned to Sam, how we was at the Royal Oak watching it. I mean, when you give him space like Holding gave him then, he doesn't even need to be near the goal.
This is what we just spoke about. Give these players a chance. It'll be in the back of the net before you know it.
That's where we've got to show that nasty streak. Fuck it, it's a derby, man. I don't give a fuck about if they come off that pitch 1-1, we come off with a sending off or anything like that, then, and we know that we've actually fucking put up a fight, then fuck it.
Yeah.
Fight
again, we need to start picking up points. It's been a horrible. It was a horrible start to the season. We've lost too many games. It's just a horrible start, and both teams need the points. And it's a case of, at the end of the day, who wants it more?
Yeah.
Who wants them points more? I think that's
we're both in an inconsistent run of games, to be honest. Like Tottenham are pretty hot and cold, and we're pretty hot and cold. So it'll be interesting to see who ends up on top. I think shortly we're going to have a Tottenham fan joining us. So it'll be interesting to see what their point of view will be and what sort of result that they are expecting. But I think in terms of the fact that this game can put us 4 points below Tottenham, we should go for it, really. As much as our season may be over, we've still got a chance of getting above them, which I know sounds not enough or not that much to look forward to. It's all we've basically gone off.
Right, it's celebrate the small victories, boys. This is all we've got
celebrate
now.
what we can. If we can't get silverware or top 4, fair enough. But when it comes to our rivals, we want to be that step ahead of them. But
it's not very good. This is all we this is all we want, to win over Tottenham. We Arsenal's a massive club. It always has been, always will be. We'll always be bigger than Tottenham. Fact.
Yeah.
But we need to start winning these major trophies.
Here he is. So we've got our next guest, which is Ryan Lawrence. Can you hear us, Ryan? Hello, right.
Hello, mate.
Ryan. So you're on with me, Sam, and Danny. So basically, we just want to get your verdict on not just the game, but Tottenham in general. Obviously, so Mourinho, how do you think his season's gone so far?
I think the way it began, there's a lot of optimism. He came off strong. We won a few games early doors, beat Man United by Southampton 5-2. 3-0 football. And then all of a sudden, we conceded 3 goals to West Ham, and we forgot how to play.
Yeah.
So it was a bit tough. We were quite at the top of the table with Liverpool, but then we were probably quite in mid-table with Aston Villa. And it's a bit of a shocking turnaround.
Yeah.
But I think every team has a blip. There was teams at the start of the season. Man City started quite poor. They was 9th.
Yeah.
Arsenal started poor. Man United didn't really have a great start.
Look at now, yeah.
So I think we're coming out of that blip now, and I think we've hit a good bit of form. We've hit 4 goals in the last 3 games, I think.
Yeah.
The last 4 games, we're scoring again.
Yeah.
Just before you jumped in, Ryan, we were just touching on now's the one of the worst times to play against you.
Yeah, but the thing is, in the past, I think form means nothing. Form means nothing going into a derby. I mean, there'll be goals because I think both defences are shocking.
Yeah, this has been said. Yeah.
Sorry, I know I'm a bit late to the party, but
no. This has been said by we put a tweet out to see people's predictions from our followers, and a lot of it is lots of goals. Tottenham should nudge it with the better front three. As much as I want to disagree with it, I can't say that you've not got a better front three, because majority. I'm not sure what happened there. Right, we're back. So majority of Tottenham's side, Sam just said himself, he'd put 7 of your players in our team. I don't know if you'd say the same about Arsenal, would you?
It's difficult. I mean, you've got a few decent players. I mean, I'd say that if you've got like Aubameyang on form, he's up there. I would probably put him up there with Kane. But it's difficult. You look at the stats over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's hard. I think a lot of the Tottenham players, I think, are positionally better. I mean, I think we've got a slightly better defence on paper.
Yeah.
But the way that they've been performing, you can't say that.
This is I mean, the thing is, I was mentioning was the fact that there's a lot of value in your defence as well. You've spent quite a lot of money on the 2 centre backs that you wouldn't say have probably performed to the level that they should have. You've got 4 full-backs that have probably been spent quite a lot of money on, and you probably could get good money for too. I mean, we had the debate between Redknapp and Keane the other week, where he basically slated your entire squad. I found it quite harsh. Some of it I may have agreed with. What was your thought on it?
I think Keane. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of things that he says on television. To be honest with you, I mean, I think a lot of the Sky Sports is biased towards Man United, Man City, and Liverpool anyway. That's my own opinion. I don't think no matter what team you are, you can have the best players in the world. I mean, but if you're Roy Keane or Graham Souness, then you're rubbish.
Yeah.
You've got, you're rubbish. I mean, I think as you touched on about the defence, obviously Davinson Sanchez was £42 million, but again, he's still young. He's 3 or 4 years away from his prime as a centre back.
This is what you pay for, isn't it? It's age and potential as well.
Exactly. Your prime. I mean, but then you look at say we spent a lot of money. I mean, Aurier was only £20 million. Matt Doherty was £15 million as a right wing back, not a right full back. I think attacking he's one of the best right backs in the league. Defensively, he's shocking.
Yeah.
Really on £30 million, but then again, that's really a loan, because after 2 years he can go back for £45 million. Ben Davies was next to nothing. Alderweireld was cheap. He's been there for a little while. Eric Dyer, I mean, I'm not even going to discuss him because
it's happened again.
You say that, I like Eric Dyer. I always have done. As a CDM, as a right back when he came in at first, I've always liked him. But I just feel that what Mourinho was doing with our defence was constantly changing the right back or the centre back partnership. When you're changing a partnership, you can't get settled. I'm not a professional footballer myself, but I play centre back, and I know what it's like to turn up on a Sunday morning knowing I'm playing alongside Matey Boy. If he's not there one Sunday, I'm sitting there going, "Who's going for the headers? Who's deep? Who's running the line?"
You mentioned Graham Souness, and I think he did say it himself that Mourinho just doesn't know what to do with your squad. He's got so much depth in there, far more depth than what we have in our team. Like Sunday, I can predict that your bench will near enough have the quality of our first 11, because on paper you've got really good potential, especially up top. Gareth Bale started to find his form again. Would you like to see him stay on permanently?
When he came in, I was a big thing that he was going to come in, but he was never going to come good straight away.
It went mental when Bale came in. It was like all went absolutely nuts.
He did.
I suppose from what he'd done for you, years ago, and I can see why.
They ain't got much to celebrate.
Ryan, what I was just going to quickly ask you, we touched base on Mourinho as well. Do you think he's the right manager to drive you forward?
Yes.
Wow,
in the short, the thing is, when Poch went, I wanted him out. I wanted Poch gone. I think that after a project, he's got to the Champions League. But even that year at the Champions League, the final, he'd only won 24 points in that calendar year in the Premier League in 22 games. That's not form of a team that want to win league titles, that want to win trophies. We didn't deserve to win the Champions League final on that form. We didn't deserve to be in the Champions League final. Half an hour of magic from Lucas Moura got us to that Champions League final.
I have to agree.
And, VAR against Man City, that's what got us to that Champions League final.
Yeah.
We didn't get there because we played brilliantly. We got there through luck.
This is what we want on the show, this honesty, I tell you.
When Mourinho came in, we've got a squad that have been there, but they need someone that's going to show them how to win finals, show them how to win trophies, how to grind out results. And we've done that. We've done that for a period of time. Even against Arsenal earlier on in the season, we only had 3 shots on goal.
Yeah.
Because we've got that quality up top that when we break away, you sit there with 3-on-2. Who are you going to fancy, David Luiz or Heung-min Son?
Yeah, I mean, we've mentioned about the exposure that we put ourselves in, and the fact that you've got the front three to do it. So when we are exposed, you've got the quality there to sort of deliver. If you don't get European football this season, as you were talking on the Champions League, on the Champions League final, if you don't get Champions League or even Europa, is that still a possibility? Do you think you can keep these sort of players?
Is there money out there at the moment to buy these sort of players?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's it. Right back to you. Is there money out there for the likes of PSG to spend that money on us, to spend on Real Madrid? Because at the moment you've got Harry Kane is the complete all-round striker.
Yeah.
But for the same amount of money you can get Haaland. For less money you can get Haaland, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For longer.
Yeah. I can see Harry Kane give it another season or two. I can see him going. Them type of players, they want to win the big trophies, and they ain't going to get it at Tottenham.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not going to get big trophies at Tottenham.
You've got the Carabao Cup. I mean, I know sometimes I've heard Tottenham fans call it the Mickey Mouse Cup, but now all of a sudden it's becoming something that is a bit bigger and a bit better. Do you fancy your chances against City?
Touching on that, I think a lot of fans call it the Mickey Mouse Club if they're not in the final.
We do.
If you're not in the final, no one cares about it. But I think a lot more teams over the last few years are taking it a little bit more seriously. When they get along with the team, they will play a reserve-ish side. But I think as you get on later in the competition, the first team has come out. Against Brentford.
Trophy's a trophy.
Trophy is a trophy.
And we're all in it to win it, aren't we? We're all in it to win it.
I don't care what trophy it is, what they call it. It can be called anything. If it's a trophy in there, you've got to win the trophies. That's what fans want. Do
you fancy that? Are you confident about that? I mean, City have been unstoppable pretty much up until this week.
It would be
that's a different question, yeah.
It would be a Spursy thing to lose, though, wouldn't it?
I think it'd be a Spursy thing for them to win it.
The thing is, the way we played this season, we started off bright. We beat them, we beat them at the start of the season. Mourinho beat them 3 times in a row, I think it was, or twice in a row. Pochettino beat them. But we had their number. It wasn't until the last game where they actually turned around and actually turned up and played against us. And we conceded some goals. We beat them 2-0, I think 2 or 3 times on the bounce. So, as you say, if we can sit back and defend and actually absorb the pressure that we was at the start of the season, I think we can beat them. But looking at the way Man City are playing and the players they've got, what happened against United on the weekend, I'll never know.
But they had 20 shots as well, which was quite remarkable.
Yeah, but Dean Henderson's a great goalkeeper. I think he's better than number 2. He should be out of there. He should be playing in the top 6 team as a number 1.
Yeah.
It's just a strange season as well, isn't it, for everyone? It's for the players as well. It's all new to players playing without fans. It just shows you how important fans are for the game, for the love of football. Anything can happen.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, I've gone for Tottenham to go ahead and then Arsenal to come back and win 2-1. But I'm being confident.
You can't exactly go against your team, can you?
I've seen Tottenham win so many derbies in the last year. I can't see another one. I don't think I can. I mean, there was the time where the one where we mentioned about the David Luiz slip up against Son, where Laka scored a cracker in the first 15 minutes, and then we let ourselves just lose. We made a mistake, and then in the end, poor defending, and I think it was one of your centre backs that scored the winner in the last 10 minutes. And ever since then, we've just never looked good against you, really. The 2-0 win that you won against us, exposed. And the good thing about your defence, when you're having a good game, you make sure you are in these derbies. I don't think I've once seen an error from Tottenham in a derby, really. Not for a long time anyway. Like, if we score, it's from a good goal. It won't be from us passing you passing us the ball and us walking into the goal. I think you have your head on, and I think that's what's needed from both teams coming up.
100%. I mean, but the thing is, I mean, we talk about goals, and poor defending. It'd probably end up being 0-0.
Yeah, we jinxed it now.
Yeah.
You know, it's the way it is. You know, you're not going to sit there and go, Tottenham, we scored 4 and 4 and 4. You know, I think what comes into it is tomorrow night as well. You've got to travel to Greece. We haven't. You know, they've changed, our fixtures obviously changed around because of the clash and both playing at home. There's no fans in the area, so I don't know why it makes so much difference. But they've had to change it around, and they've actually probably benefited more than Arsenal because they've got to travel to Greece.
Yeah.
We can sit there and go, you know what, we are decently tried, and not have to worry about 3 hours back.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make sense really, does it?
No, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. I've before we wrap up anyway, I just want to thank you for coming on. I mean, it's really good to hear Tottenham ideas and opinions. Obviously, you've said the result. Is there anything that you sort of want to get out there or put a point across on any player or just Tottenham or Arsenal overall? Obviously, you've said you think that you. I can't remember if we touched on it on whether you can keep the players. So you said that you think Kane will stick around, or I think that might have been Danny. Is there anyone you think could leave? Obviously, Dele Alli is a very interesting situation. He's just finally come back in form now that he's playing. He was left out for quite some time. Do you think he'll stick around next season?
Thing is, Dele's too young to get rid of. You know, he's 24 years old. You know, if we get rid of him now, especially if he goes to Pochettino at PSG, he'll turn him into a £150 million player again in no time.
Yeah. I would put my money on that happening.
But I think Levy has got to be clever, and Levy's one of the hardest chairmen in the world. You know, I think he will keep the players if he can. You know, unless a player specifically comes out and says, I want to go, I think the majority of the team will be there next season. I think we may lose a couple of players like maybe Lamella or Bergwijn might even find his way back out the door because they're not playing as regularly as they'd like to. But I think the core of the first team will stay together. We'll get a new centre back, and I think even that could even see Eric Dyer leaving. And that wouldn't surprise me if he was to go out there to get some.
That'd be the whole Premier League if he leaves, wouldn't it?
Well, Dyer.
Yeah, if Dyer leaves, it'll be a blessing for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone seems to have the same opinion on him. I don't see him going to Euros in the summer, wherever it's held. But the thing is, at Tottenham, you've got a lot of squads that could go to England, and you've got a lot of midfield there that are pretty much being wasted, like Harry Winks. What do you make of it?
I like Winks. He was good on the ball. You know, he was being compared to Iniesta and Xavi at one point. You know, because his roots are kind of good. You know, and he's being compared to the way that he's played. He's very good at receiving the ball from defenders and distributing it out wide and taking the play forward. He's very good at ball, but he's not a big man in midfield that's a ball winner that's going to run around like Mourinho was. He's like a big midfielder to win the play and break that play. Winks isn't that. So I think his chances at Euros have gone, if I'm honest. I mean, you've got Mount, Grealish, Foden, all of these young everyone in England, and I think the biggest one to miss out is Dele, because I actually think, I mean, it's not to be biased, but I think on the day, on form, Dele is better than all of them.
I've actually forgotten that he's English, because we're talking about so many other players. You forget that Dele's even English.
You forget about players like Ruben Loftus-Cheek as well, because obviously he was in the World Cup.
Yeah.
I know he's dropped down to Fulham, but there's players there that are quality players, but they're not playing regularly or at a high enough level.
The future is bright, Ryan. The future is bright.
Yeah, definitely. It's not Arsenal.
Thank you very much for coming on, mate. And it's good to see you as well. I hope you're all good.
Yeah,
hopefully I'll see you in the pub sometime, having a beer when life is over. And I would say good luck on Sunday, but I'd be lying.
We'll see what the podcast is like next Wednesday, shall we?
Yeah. Make sure you listen, mate, and you're always welcome back on.
Lovely, thank you.
Nice one, mate.
Right,
Cheers.
take it easy, mate. So we've now got Jay Pupper with us. Jay's a big Arsenal fan. Obviously, I've known you a long time, Jay, and I know just how pumped up you'll be for this game. How you doing anyway, mate? You okay?
Yeah, all good, mate. Yeah, big week ahead for Arsenal. Bit nervous, really. Could end our season. Obviously, first leg against Olympiacos, and then obviously just for like the Tottenham game still obviously means a lot, even though we're both not doing well in the league. But obviously, just for pride, like we don't want to lose against them boys.
Exactly. We don't want that at all, mate. Yeah, I think nerves, excitement, it all happens really. I think this derby gives you a lot of different feelings. Obviously, I know you've supported Arsenal since I've known you. We've never really discussed Arsenal in depth. I guess most of the time we've just got other shit to talk about. Are you confident we can do it on Sunday?
I would have been a couple of weeks ago, but after the last two, or I think 3 Tottenham games, I think they've scored 2. They've scored 4 goals in the last 2 Premier League games. Obviously, Gareth Bale, he weren't doing very well when he first signed, but he scored like 5 in his last 6 games or something like that. Obviously 4 in his last 2 games. So yeah, they're hitting a bit of form. Obviously, last game we weren't very good against Olympiacos, but I'm hoping we get a good win on Thursday night, which gives us a lot of confidence to go into Sunday. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point.
Hopefully Tottenham get a few injuries on Thursday and we don't get any, and then we look forward to Sunday.
That's a nice way to put it. Obviously, Sam and Danny are with us as well. We're all Arsenal fans, and to be honest, we all want the same thing.
Arsenal.
Right. But so Jay, if you was to have a favourite player, who would it be and why?
What favourite current football player?
Yeah, currently in the squad.
In an Arsenal squad, I don't know. I think it's got to be Kieran Tierney, isn't it? The way that he plays every game, you can just tell when he was. I don't know how many games he actually missed, but he was out for 5-6 weeks, and you could just tell in the first game he wasn't there that we missed him. He seems like he's such a big player for us. He's just definitely been a future captain when Aubameyang goes. You can just tell how much he tries every game. He always wants to win. Like even when he scored 2 goals. Look how mad he went. The West Brom goal and then who was the last goal again? Benfica goal. You can just shows how much it means to him every time he plays. So yeah, I think currently he's my favourite Arsenal player, definitely.
Yeah, I have to agree. The thing with Aubameyang is he's not really got that captaincy about it, is he? He's a quality player, one of the very best in an Arsenal shirt, but I don't see he's really fit to be the captain. I think it's only a matter of time. I mean, he's only got a few years left anyway, probably at Arsenal.
We'll probably only gave him that.
The next captain is loud and clear. Danny and Sam, what would you make of that? Would he be your favourite player as well?
100% have to agree with Jay there. I mean, Kieran Tierney, as Jay rightly said, you can see how much it means to Kieran Tierney. He tries, every game he tries, and when he scores, you can just see it's the emotion when he scores. Future captain for me, favourite player at the moment.
I could imagine him if he was captain. If we were losing at half time, he'd go in there and say, "Come on, boys, sort it out." He's a fiery Scottishman, man. I wouldn't want to mess. We need a player like that, man. That's going to go in there and fucking pull everyone's heads together and tell him to get come on, we've got to win this game. Whereas at the moment, I couldn't imagine Aubameyang really doing that, really.
I mean, come rain,
we should
snow.
Get you down the Emirates, Jay. Get you in the dressing room. You sound like you've got a hot head than Aubameyang.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, come rain, snow, sunshine. Kieran Tierney, he's dressed for all weathers. He don't care. He don't. Some of these guys are all wrapped up. Kieran Tierney for me is different class.
And I think with Aubameyang, they had to give him the captaincy for him to try and stay. This is another part of the deal, isn't it? Just giving the captaincy to stay. So yeah, it probably wasn't the best choice for captain, but obviously to keep him. But ever since he signed his deal, it's obviously a lot. He's scored a few goals here and there, but not been nowhere near as good as he's been the last couple of seasons.
Yeah,
hopefully,
I have to agree.
Hopefully he scores a hat-trick again this Sunday.
That's what I'm saying. The only saving grace with all that is that he's starting to score goals at the right time now.
He loves the goal against Tottenham as well. That's the thing.
Exactly.
But so does Harry Kane, though, which is annoying. He loves a goal against us.
I think we mentioned earlier about Lacazette. I think Lacazette really turns up in these derbies. So as much as I love Aubameyang, I'd love to see him put wide left. and then to bring Laka in, because I think he's always confident in the derby. We saw him score in the 4-2 game. He scored when we lost 2-1, I think.
That was a great goal.
Great goal as well, wasn't it?
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, cracker. I think I was with you, Danny, and Jay in the coach and horses.
Yeah,
Sam, you were there as well.
Full of them Tottenham fans, weren't they?
8 minutes in, we all just went mental.
Isn't that the famous game that we all went to down the fucking pub?
Yeah. What a game that! Yeah, messy day that one was. But in terms of Tottenham, Jay, would you say Kane? You mentioned Kane. Would you say he's their biggest threat, or someone else?
I'd say, I just think you've got, like, if Kane, Bale, and Son are in form, they're probably the best front three in the league potentially.
Yeah, especially the way Liverpool are playing at the moment.
I just think
it's either that or City's.
Yeah, obviously you would say on paper lately it's been Liverpool's, but the way they've been playing lately, definitely not. But I just think with Kane, it's just the way that how many assists. I think he's got 13 assists in the Premier League for a striker. That's different gravy.
Like, I've got to admit, as much as it pains me to say, there's nothing like him.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's one thing I do want to ask you, because I think this will be quite a difficult one for you to answer, but it might be today now that you've not seen it as much. What brings you more joy, the yellow fella or Arsenal?
Probably, obviously Arsenal. There's nothing more I enjoy than going to watch Arsenal. But
are you sure?
At the moment,
or the yellow fella out watching Arsenal, you can't beat that.
That you're making me want it now, Jay. Pint in the pub garden watching the boys.
Wembley Cup final day, like at the 12 at the what's it called? The Green Man with like out in the big garden, sun's out, beers, going to Wembley. I can't wait for them days again.
Yeah, we're all going to be depressed now after coming off this.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Hopefully we haven't got long to wait.
I just wish we could go to the pub this Sunday. It's obviously better going to the game, but even going to the pub with the boys to watch the Super Sunday, you can't beat them days.
Yeah, definitely. I think it would be quite hard to get tickets for games next season as well, depending on how it all is.
Yeah,
if the roadmap's clear, and it is how Boris is saying, then it's perfect, because the season will end, and then hopefully by the time we get to the new season, it will just be normal and business as usual.
They'll probably trial and error it at the Euros, wouldn't they, and see how it goes with all the fans back and that, and just hopefully by the time the Premier League starts, everything just hopefully.
I for one, I'm looking forward to a pint in the 12 pin personally.
Yeah, you can't beat that place. Pop in before the game.
I can't wait to be sticking to the floor.
I know that feeling.
Standing in piss.
Yeah, definitely.
Can't wait
queuing for 3 minutes for the ladies' toilet. Like, you'll never know.
Two pints and 2 Jaegers, 30 quid. Can't wait.
Jay, man, you made me want it. Right. So obviously we spoke of Arsenal. We spoke of Tottenham and who their biggest threat is. Is there anyone in Arsenal who you'd quite gladly see gone at the end of the season, Jay?
Yeah, a lot of people would probably say Xhaka, but I wouldn't say him. I know he made a mistake the other way, but I think the last few, they've made the most of this season. He's been probably one of our best players.
He's been unreal.
Yeah. I think Socrates said in his interview in the build-up to this game, a lot of people slate him, but before Burnley and after Burnley, he was literally one of our best players on the field. As much as you can slate him, he does a job when he's playing good. He
still has the bollocks to put an Instagram photo up after admitting what he done wrong. Like most players would just would not put anything up and would just leave it and stay quiet. But he seems to, he don't hide away from it.
I think we saw that with Pepe, didn't we? Pepe didn't put anything up, I think.
When he got sent off, he didn't apologise, did he, for ages?
He didn't apologise for a while, which I mean, not that social media is the biggest thing in the world, but I think it just makes it gives off a good vibe when you do say sorry and admit your guilt.
I don't blame some players for sometimes not putting stuff up, because you see all the messages some of the players get, all the racism all the time and stuff like that. So sometimes I don't blame them if they do something wrong. Because like all the Man United players when they lost against Sheffield United and that, they were getting all like that. I don't know how you pronounce his that centre back that begins with T. He was getting racist. Reece James for Chelsea, like loads of players are getting racism all the time on Instagram. So it's not a very good place sometimes for football fans. And I think the football players should out them and they always cross out their actual username. I think they should just leave it out there so people can give them a hate.
Yeah, I mean there's some tension last week, wasn't there, on Arsenal players on their social media. A lot of
Smith Rowe deleted his account. Was that or something? Or?
And it was supposedly due to the abuse, which was weird timing because he'd just been injured. So I thought it was just false. I didn't think any of it was true. But
I need to go and make a cuppa. It's empty like Tottenham's trophy cabinet.
That's class. Yeah. So just before we wrap up, obviously those listening don't know. We've told you, Jay, because you're one of our guests. So Sam, my colleague, friend of course as well, has decided that we're going to do something new. So we're going to introduce a thing where 3 results are chosen from us both. Our guest, which we've chosen Jay for today, will choose the games, and whoever gets the results the most correct will be the person to do a forfeit on Sunday's roundup.
Yeah, you got that wrong, Dan. You got that wrong. You said the person with the most correct will be. So you mean the person that's got it wrong?
Of course, yeah. So the person that gets it wrong will be chosen a forfeit by whoever gets the most correct. If results are the same or we all lose, then it comes down to the team winning. So Jay, have you chosen the 3 games?
Yeah.
Go on then, hit me with it.
So the first game is the early kickoff on Saturday. It's Leeds Chelsea.
I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea.
Oh, you snaked me already. I'll go 4-1 Chelsea.
Ooh.
Okay. So wait, Sam, you can choose the result first this time because Dennis got last one.
Yeah, all right.
Second game is I think Luton Swansea. Luton are at home.
Oh, see, because we're so close to Luton, I don't want to snake them, but like keep my head down. But I'm actually going to go for a 2-1 Swansea.
I'm going to go 1-1.
Okay. And then the last game I picked is Man United versus West Ham. Big game for the top 4.
Lingard's not playing. So this is a hard one.
Go on, you go, Dan.
Sure?
Yeah.
2-1 United. So 2-2-1s and a 1-1 I'm going.
Right, just to keep it interesting, I'll go 2-1 West Ham.
No Lingard as well.
That's a big call.
So what does the winner get to choose the forfeit for the loser?
Yeah. So on Sunday's roundup, when we do a roundup at the end of the day on Sunday, we will. Well, hopefully it's nothing too stupid. I mean, I'm not going to do a Ben Murphy and shave my head off. That's for sure. But
now we promise not to do hair. But like
the last thing I would want to talk about
in
the derby is do a podcast. I'll be fuming.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it could be very interesting.
I'll go and meet Luke Story and drop him.
Oh, Jay, it's been a pleasure, mate. But we'll wrap up. We'll obviously thank you all for coming on. The song that we're going to play is Monster by Jacob Banks. We've chosen this song because it is quite relevant to the topic and the game. You see there, Jay Staff. Come on, you Gunners.
Come on, you Reds.
Come on, the Arsenal.
The song shows integrity, authority, aggression. Hopefully, we'll see that all Sunday. Thanks, Jay, and the rest of the guests for jumping on. Thank you, Danny. We'll see you Sunday. Let's hope it's a good one.
Cheers.